Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing today? Happy Pancake Day. Welcome, 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 one and all. One and all. I hope everybody's doing well on this fabulous Tuesday evening. It is going to be a fantastic show. Welcome to the next show will be better. I'm so excited that you guys are here because today we are going to have a lot of fun. Today we have our very first collab with a very special guest. We're going to do some chatting. We're going to do some questions. We're going to do whatever happens because that's just the way it rolls when we have a collab. I guess so. I don't know. We're going to set the tone this way. We're going to see how it goes. It could be a complete disaster, but I doubt it because you guys always help me out and make it great. Anyways, make sure that you drop any of your questions, comments, concerns, inquiries in the chat because I do read them as we go. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new and it's the first time that you're checking us out, I appreciate you taking a chance on us. If you're a returning participant or just an observer, welcome back and much love for your continued support. Also, if you could just hit that like button for me because it does wonders for the algorithm and, we're trying to grow the community and all that. So yeah, much appreciated on that as well. All right, let's see if we can make this show better than the last. I have a feeling it's going to be because of our special guest. All right. So on our very first collaboration, we have a very special guest who is a UK native with an amazing channel that blends fun quizzes, fascinating historical locations throughout Liverpool, and even a few singing puppets, which is lots of fun. I'm really, really excited to have them join us today. So please give a very nice and warm welcome to TJ, Work in Progress. How you doing, TJ? Are you there? Oh
no. Can you hear me now? Yes, you can.
Yeah, there you are. You're like that old cell phone commercial. I don't know if they had it here. It was a Verizon commercial. You guys have Verizon here?
No.
No, you don't. Okay, so you wouldn't know it. Anyways, they were one of the first mobile phones. We have cell towers all across America. That's how we do our cell phone services. And so they were the first to have like cell phone towers all over the United States. So their commercial was always, oh, can you hear me now? Oh, good. And they would just like be in random places throughout the United States. That was like the whole commercial. Anyway, it's lost on all of you, but
totally
I got
lost. Totally lost.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Welcome. Thanks so much for doing this for me, TJ.
No, thank you for inviting me. After a bit of a push, just a couple of little nudges there and there.
Well, you know what? It wasn't you. I was just nervous about it because I had always thought like if I was going to do a live show that I would have a partner anyway, and then I couldn't find anyone to do it with me.
Oh, so I'm second best, am I? Right.
No.
I'm going. Ta-ra. See ya.
Let me finish.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I was a second thought. I wasn't even a second thought. So
no.
I'm
Let me finish.
No.
So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do this solo. And my first like 5 lives, nobody showed up. I was doing it all by myself anyway, right? I was like talking to myself and everything. But I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep doing it because the channel's growing. We'll see what happens, and I enjoy it, and we'll make it a podcast or something someday or whatever, right? And then the first time that you mentioned it, I was like, huh, like a guest host, that might work. Could I do that? Like it took me like months and months to even get the confidence up to be like I could actually have a guest host on it. So I got so used to doing it by myself. So the last time you nudged me, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens.
Now I'm gonna translate that So the first time I mentioned it, she went, "Ooh, no." The second time I mentioned it, she went and researched my channel, came onto my show, and thought, "Oh, she's not that bad." So yeah, go ahead.
No. Fine, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Fine.
Oh
But
look,
you're
she's on a
on.
lovely shade of pink. I told you I was going to make a holy show of you on live.
We didn't waste any time either. Thanks for that.
Oh, dear.
No, but thank you. I do appreciate it. And I hope this is not going to be too obnoxious or painful for you.
Or you.
It'll probably be more painful for me than you. You're absolutely right. Let's see who we have coming, joining us today. We have Disco, as always. Thank you for joining. Falco, yay, welcome. We have Diane Ogan. Thank you for joining. Sam K, Manny M. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Roy Cousins is here in the house. Hey, everyone. I'm not really reading the comments, guys. Sorry, I'm just welcoming you all. Lorena, hi, how are you? Yeah, everybody's here just about. It's awesome. We have a really good group, I think. Hey, did you have any pancakes today?
No.
No? It's pancake day.
No.
Isn't that like a thing here?
Well, I'll have pancakes whenever I feel like. So
Well,
I had a sugar donut day.
a sugar donut day?
Yeah.
I have a problem with your donuts here. They don't the plain like honey glazed donut's fine. I guess you guys call it just glazed. But like your cream, like anything that has filling in it, it tastes funny to me. But I can't have anything with filling in it, which is weird because they're like my favorite ones in America.
Hold on just a second.
She put us on hold already, so she's running the show. What the hell? Anyway, you guys have any questions for TJ? Let us know. Let them put them in the chat, and I will ask as we go.
Can I just ask if your mods have just blocked a message?
If my what?
If your mods blocked a message.
I don't see one blocked. So this goes saying no, nothing's been blocked. So you're having an issue.
Well, somebody sent a message and it hasn't turned up. Sorry, no worries. Carry on. Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, please try to send it again. I hope you can. I was having that issue last week with there was something that was blocking the messages coming through one of the services I was using. So I don't know if that's still having an issue. It seems fine on my side, but I'm wondering if there's like an issue with the service I'm using. StreamYard, you use StreamYard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that issue before, but all of a sudden last week it wouldn't show me the comments on the side. But they were coming through on the channel, like what as a viewer.
Yeah, well normally StreamYard get all the comments and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it's YouTube that gets blocked. So even if something's been blocked on YouTube, you as the creator should still be seeing whatever's coming through.
Sam K says that YouTube has an auto delete for certain words. I know he's a moderator for some channels, so that might be what it is. I don't know what. I don't know who's trying to send a message, and I don't know what they're trying to say.
Oh no, not another bloody Scouser.
So I was taught
to me.
I was taught something negative about Scousers.
Probably true. Go on.
So obviously my partner is from like Southeast London, and I was told that Scousers shouldn't be trusted because they are like
Thieving
thieves.
little gits.
Yes, I was trying to be nice about it.
Don't park your car because you'll come back to it on bricks.
But listen, I didn't really believe. To be honest, I didn't really believe him. But he had worked with someone who was from I don't know if it was Liverpool, but I was around Liverpool, and he used to like steal magnets off of cars and stuff when we were out and about.
Yeah.
So I never believed him until I witnessed him stealing like the magnets off the cars and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, maybe they're right.
Well, it depends on how far you go back,
Okay.
right? So, how do I put this without winding people up? There was a certain newspaper
Just say
that
it out. Don't worry about winding
no,
people up.
because
We
I
don't care.
can't even mention the name of that newspaper. Somebody in the chat might know the name of that newspaper. There was a Hillsborough disaster. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
98 football fans lost their lives
Was that
during
a
a
plane
crash.
crash?
No, it was
Oh.
a failing on the police and the organisers at a football match, and they let too many people in, and people were getting squashed.
Oh, that was this in the stands, right? Because it was standing room only. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So the journalists were saying that the Scouse fans were pickpocketing the dead, and they weren't.
So is that where that comes from?
It might be where that comes from. That's where it's escalated from. But we
Mm.
also had the riots, the Toxteth riots, which any riots that happen anywhere in the country, people smash windows and steal tellies and radios and everything like that.
Yeah.
But because it's Liverpool and it was one of the first race riots, it was amplified again. So yeah, Liverpool is under the microscope. Margaret Margaret Thatcher wanted to wall us off and let us decline.
Wait, is that real? Because I know she had some issues with
That
some of
is the God's honest truth. She wanted to wall off Liverpool and just let us decline. That's the Tory Prime Minister.
Yeah, I know Thatcher.
And
Mm.
Churchill wanted to bomb us with a gunboat
Why?
in 1911 because we basically stopped the country with a strike because
With
everything
your
was coming
strike?
through the docks. The 1911 strikes,
Hmm.
um, everything was coming through the docks. And when the docks went on strike, the country basically
Shuts
stopped.
down. Yeah.
So, and then the strikes from the docks. It wasn't just Liverpool, but it was, all the
But
docks.
okay, so the thought, so I just have to, I have to put this in there. He's turning the guns on his own people, right? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bomb them. That sounds like some shit Trump would do right now.
Well, I did a video on it, and he had two gunboats in the Mersey,
Oh, I did see that video.
right? So two gunboats in the Mersey, and apparently another one waiting on the Isle of Man
That's crazy. For strikes?
for strikes. People were just asking for better paying conditions, more so conditions and proper uniforms, so to speak, proper working clothes and
Yeah.
proper times to work. That's all they were asking for, and he wanted to. Hey ho.
Yeah. Churchill was a bit of a bastard in some ways.
I think he was tunnel vision. I mean, he was supposedly good for the country in some way because he had a vision and he followed it through. But if when your vision consists of that, it's like, nah, I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, violence, I'm always anti-violence unless it's like extreme cases, right? And so like extreme self-defense cases and stuff like that. I always think that there's probably a different way to handle things, but especially when you're turning guns on your own people or there's violence against your own people, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're not going to get anywhere. All it does is escalate it.
Yep.
Doesn't help at all. Strikes in itself, like strikes are there for a reason. Like that's one of the only powers labor has. Like
Well, exactly. Anyway, we'll lighten it up. It's known all across the country that Scousers are thieves. Watch your wheel hubs. Watch your what they call it, the things on the front of cars, the badges.
the license plates.
No, the BMW or the Audi or the
Oh, the
VW or
yeah, the symbol things you're talking about. The
yeah,
what are they called? I don't know what they're called actually.
emblems, badges, car badges. I don't know. It's why there's no Rolls Royces because they've robbed all the angels off the
Because
front.
they took them all off the front. I remember that. It's from a while ago. You see that in America as well. Do you guys know what that's called? The chat. Do you guys know what that's called on the thing that's on the front of the car? Yeah, now they're all like ingrained in the hoods and stuff, aren't they? Emblems. Manny's saying it's emblems.
Yeah, emblems.
So, um, I just wanted to say though, in your defense and in Scouser's defense, because I'm an equal playing field kind of person. The person that told me about that grew up in Gravesend.
Well, there you go.
So I don't know if you know anything about Gravesend. It's not exactly crime free.
Yeah, well, it's what you've got to figure out. Unfortunately for you, is you're coming into a country that has its own biases against its own people. I literally live 40 miles away from Manchester.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Something like that. I'm 20 minutes away in a car, right? And if I start talking about Manchester being great, Manchester this and Manchester that, you want to see the dirty looks I get?
See, I could get away with it though because I'm a foreigner, so I have a little bit of grace, not a lot, because people will still correct me, but I'll have a little bit of grace because they're like, "Oh, she doesn't know."
Oh, the poor American only just come here, doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything. I'm just learning.
I mean, Birkenhead is literally across the river.
What is it?
From the Birkenhead.
Birkenhead.
Yes.
Birkenhead.
Birkenhead. Birkenhead, lah.
Okay.
So it's literally across the river, and it is technically part of Liverpool, surrounding area, right?
Okay.
But that's known as the dark side, because you don't go over there because you're not a Scouser if you're over there.
It's right across the river.
But you're not a Scouser.
Okay.
You can go 3 miles out of Liverpool on the Lancashire, what's it called? The East Lancs Road. And you're a wool.
Is that because it's what's the football team?
The Woolybacks.
Oh. See,
You're in St Helens, so you're a Woollyback. You're not Scouse. You're a Woollyback. I am yet to discover what a Woollyback is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you my next question. What the hell is that? Yeah, I don't know. I guess because America is so big, we have like regional clashes like that. You know what I mean? But they're so spread out more, I guess, because of the mass, the vast land we have. I mean, like if I grew up in New Jersey, for example, so like we're sort of looked down on by New Yorkers as like the wannabes or whatever. But we don't really have like a East Coast, like we don't have that kind of rivalry. We have an East Coast, West Coast rivalry, though.
Do you have a
Definitely.
North-South rivalry?
Well, we used to. Well, yeah, kind of.
Do you
But
still have a
it's
North-South?
we do. But it's weird because it's still only like east of the Mississippi. So the Mississippi is like from Chicago all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
And so on the eastern side of it is like the north-south division, and on the other side is just like Midwest and West and mountain people. Even though there's mountains on the east side, we still consider the other people mountain people. So the Northwest is more about that. I think probably because that was the area that the Civil War, like that was the states that were around during the Civil War, probably.
You see, I made the mistake once of calling all Americans Yanks. And got told off for it.
I bet you were.
And then I said, right, okay, so how am I just a simple, stupid English person who's watched the war films, watched this film, watched that film, and you've all been called Yanks in the films? How am I supposed to better myself if I don't know? So there you go.
Yeah, the Yanks in America is different. Yeah, it's about the northern unions.
Yeah, I know that now.
I'm explaining it for the rest of the group, TJ. For those of you who don't know, during the Civil War, the Southern Confederates called the Northern Union soldiers and their families and everything Yankees. They were the Northerners. Now everybody hates everybody in America, so I do have some questions for you, unless you have, I don't know if you have anything that you want to talk about specifically. I'm gonna look at some of these comments and see if there's So Prendy says a Scouser hide your valuables.
Yep.
I know Prendy from your community, so I'm gonna trust.
Do you want to know who Prendy is?
I think I do. I just didn't know if you wanted to make it public, so I've tried to be respectful.
That's Mr. Prendy.
Okay.
As in, I'm TJ Prendy. That is hubby.
That's so what I thought. I just didn't know.
Just ignore everything hubby says from now on.
I remember from joining your chat on your channel a couple times. My partner doesn't like to be like talked about or anything that much, at least like by name or anything. So I try to be as respectful to other people's privacy as I can. So I understand. But thank you for joining, Prendy. Glenn Wright, hello. Thanks for joining. Prendy says the moon. I'm not sure what we're referring to at that point. Is Liverpool? I've been to Liverpool, but it's been a long time. It's like when I first came to England many years ago. So Liverpool's at the very top, right? It's at the very peak near the sea, right?
Yes.
No, I'm just trying to find the location in my head.
Right. So when you look at the map of Britain, and you've got Ireland,
it's right.
It's right across.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
On top of Wales. On top of the Pig Fear.
On top of Wales. That sounds really funny. Don't say it like that.
What are you on about, Mandy?
Nothing. Nothing.
Are you sure? Do you not want to clarify what you're getting at there, though?
I have a dirty mind, and my mind will, if there's any kind of smidge of a sexual connotation, that's where my mind goes.
You know that little red thing that's at the bottom of your screen? Your face is nearly that color, do you know?
Is it? You guys are a little more conservative than I'm used to, so I don't want to. I don't know. Anyways, moving
Conservative.
on. I knew you were gonna do this to me. Why did I pick you
I
out?
did tell you. I did tell you. Did I not tell you?
You did. See, this is
Well
why it
then,
took me so freaking long to say yes.
yeah.
So Disco says that they're stealing car steering wheels now.
Oh, they steal the whole pig in car now.
Well, that's true.
They just don't take bits. They take the whole lot.
Yeah, they could probably break it down and sell it, right? They do that in America all the time. I was at we went the last weekend. We went to see if we could see the planets align and stuff. And I was literally like, "Oh well, let me stand up on the let me get up on the hood of the car and try to get a shot like from laying down or whatever, right?" And I couldn't get up on the car, and I'm like, "Why can't I get up on the?" Because I'm used to old school bumpers. That was probably the last time that I actually was able to get up on a car. So it was me. I was like, I don't think I can do this because the only other way is to step on the tire, and my knees, I don't know, they go that high any longer. So I just took
Why
pictures
didn't
on
you
my
open
own.
the back door and climb up that way?
Huh?
Open the back door and climb up that way.
How in the hell would I do that? I have to
You
climb up.
open the
Oh, you
back
mean
door.
climb up on the seat? Yeah.
You stand on the sill, then stand on the seat, and then pull yourself up.
I didn't think of that.
Well, now you know for the next
Well, now I
planet
know for
alignment.
next time. If I do that and I fall and break my leg or something, I'm going to blame you. Just so that you know. I'm going to say, it's all
Fine.
TJ's fault. Oh, geez. So Sean says that the Rolls Royce is the Angel. I had to wash one in modern ones. It disappears if you touch it. I thought I broke it.
Yes, it flips.
Oh, it flips around?
Yep.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't have a BMW. My
The
discus. Go ahead.
Bentleys do as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Is that what your Bentley does?
It flips. Yeah, my Bentley flips.
Yeah, I don't know anything like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Disco says my friend who was military police had his BMW steering wheel taken. Lorena, yeah, we were talking about you guys call it a bonnet. Yeah, the hood ornament. Yeah, hood ornament. That's how I know it.
Bonnet.
Bonnet and boot.
Do you know why it's called a bonnet and a boot?
No.
I don't.
I was
To
gonna
be
make a
honest,
guess, but
I don't know why it's called a bonnet. Well, I do, but I've forgotten. But a boot is because the car you used to take your boots off to get into the car, and you'd
really?
put your you wouldn't get into your car with muddy boots. So you'd have your
Oh.
driving shoes and your driving gloves, and you'd put your boots in the box at the back of the carriage.
Oh. See, we call it a trunk, and it's because the original cars that Ford made that for everyday people like the mass cars didn't have anything in the back, so people would actually strap a trunk to like the back of the car
Yeah,
until they started making them with trunks. So that's why we call them trunks.
which is a similar sort of thing to why we call them boots, but you put your boots in a trunk, and we just put our boots on the back.
Wow. In all fairness, I think you guys get a little bit muddier than we get in at least where I'm from.
It's definitely
It's
hands
so
down.
friggin' damp here.
Yes,
Always damp. Like the air is damp all the time.
yes.
This is island
Wait,
living, right?
wait till you get to the summer, because we have no. I nearly swore then. We have no damp at all in summer. On the hot days, there's no damp,
Yeah, but you only have like 5 hot days
and
in
that's
reality.
being generous.
I mean, right? Like you don't really have. I'm used to like 80 or 90 hot days.
Well, 2020. In 2020, you know, that year that didn't happen. It's just deleted out of everybody's memory.
Yeah. I
We
wish you
had
guys were repeating it. So
we had March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. We had 7 months of hot weather.
what? Like hot, hot?
Hot. Getting hot, hot, hot. Getting hot, hot, hot.
Hot. Oh, I would have loved to have been here for that.
And yes, Manny says we had a heat wave in 2022 when we had 40 degrees. Now that is major league hot for us.
40 degrees, yeah. 40
The
degrees
grass,
for
the
you is
grass in Hyde Park. You know Hyde Park in London.
Mhm.
That was burnt. That was brown.
Is that where they were having the fires along the
No,
road? Was that
no,
that year?
no, no. It was just dried. It was that hot. The sun had dried the grass out.
Wow.
There was an American came over. Um, he was doing his vloggy thing, and he said, "I've brought with me a jumper, a sweatshirt." He said, "and a coat," and I've had to go out and buy a t-shirt because this has got to be the hottest it's ever been. Because
I
it's
would
just chocolate mode.
imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean that's how hot it gets in the summer where I'm from. Is that hot? That's why I'm like it's not really hot here because I'm just not used to like I'm used to hotter weather. And what it's not unusual for like grass to be dried out like that too, especially even if you go more midwest it gets even hotter because it's all plains, there's no like shade or trees or forests or anything. It gets like that as well, and the grass will definitely get dried out. So Glenn has a question for us. Have
Ooh,
you heard of Chicken Country Captain, which I have not?
chicken country captain.
Do you know what that is?
No.
All right, Glenn, you got to tell us what it is. Did you write it in there? I don't think she did. But
Is
thank you,
she
Sam.
trying to? Is she trying to get me to speak Scouse?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
So Sean says that in the Northeast, Newcastles are Geordies, which I've heard. 9 miles away, we are Mackems in Sunderland. Is that right? Mackems, is that how you say that?
I've not heard of the Mackems, but I know it's Geordies.
And
Hartley.
Hartlepool are monkey hangers.
I've heard that.
Have you?
Yeah.
And Sean also says the biggest rivalry in England, not Scotland, is Sunderland and Newcastle.
Yep.
Is that true? I've heard that actually because we did. Someone from Newcastle also worked with my husband, and they would tell us about that.
Well, I don't know because Liverpool and Manchester are big rivals.
Yeah, even Manchester City and Manchester United are big rivals too.
You see now, Liverpool and Everton are great. They're sound. They love each other. Really, they do.
Do they?
Mm.
So I have a few questions for you. Are you okay with that?
Well, you can ask them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Off you go.
So I heard you're a rider. You ride motorcycles, right?
I did. I don't anymore
Why not?
because I am unable to ride now.
Difficult, yeah. I'm just asking because I used to have like an obsession with Harley Davidsons.
Did you know that 90% of Harleys are still on the road?
They are? That doesn't surprise
Yeah.
me.
The other 10% managed to make it home.
Ooh. My partner is well into motorcycles and is looking to get a bike here. And I think he picked out a Triumph that he likes. But I don't know what you I don't know anything about motorcycles really that much other than I really like Harleys because they always look really pretty and you can hear them coming down the street like 1,000 miles away. They have a very distinct sound, their motors.
They do, but the problem is, you know that damp weather we have here.
Yeah.
They are not good for Harleys.
No.
No,
I've seen a
they.
few here though.
I'm being summoned. Hang on.
I have seen a few here though. Uh it is a South Carolina recipe. Oh, the Charleston thing, it's a South Carolina recipe. We have someone from Charleston staying with us and he raves about it. Just wondered if I came across it. I don't know that recipe, Glenn. Um, but I'm interested to try it. Do you think you could email it to me? I'd love to try it. Interesting.
A Triumph. There's a couple of my mates have had Triumphs and they've liked them. Um, I like them, but they are heavier. They're too heavy for me.
What kind of bike did you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I have a Yamaha TDM 900,
Okay.
which is a sports tourer.
Did you ride a lot? Like, would you go away for like a weekend ride, kind of one of those things?
If I had people with me, I would go away. When I first started riding, I didn't pass my test till I was 39,
Oh,
and
that's
that was
cool.
well, that was like 11 years after me having a very serious accident. So
Oh,
for me to
geez.
ride a bike, I was absolutely overjoyed. So I learned to ride a bike, passed my test, and I was a nervous rider. So I would ride with my mates. My instructor turned out to be a very good friend. So if I wanted to go for a ride, he would ride with me, but we wouldn't go far because I physically can't sit on a bike for more than an hour. So it would be we'd go to so and so and we'd ride back, and he would ride at my pace. But if we were riding with others, they wanted to go fast. So it was like, well, yous all go, because you know when you end up in a ditch, I'll be the one to find you because I'm tootling along at 40 mile an hour. Just tell me where we're going and I'll follow you. And yeah, we used to have a. I'd be out for about 3 hours because we'd go somewhere, have a cup of tea, have a chat for about an hour, and then we'd make our way back again.
So you're kind of like a casual Sunday rider.
Yeah, I'm a
Gotcha.
I'm a motorcyclist, not a biker.
Gotcha. I don't know the lingo or anything like that, but I understand the distinction. I think I could probably figure it out. um, yeah, I always thought it was cool that like you could just get on a bike and ride forever and just go. I mean, in America, you have a vast number of places you can go as well, right? And in the desert and stuff, it always seems like a cool idea to like be on a bike and drive through ride through the desert on Route 66 or something, but I don't know that I don't trust myself to do it. And I don't know if I don't know how safe I'd feel on the back
Well,
now
you
at
need
my old
to
age.
trust your rider before you get on the back of anything.
Yeah, obviously.
Because my friend used to, um, you know how small our front gardens are.
Yeah.
They're only like possibly 10 foot long,
Yeah, they're
maybe a
tiny.
bit more. You're tiny. My friend used to ride 90 out the gate,
Jesus Christ.
and she would never ever get on a bike. But he wanted to take her out. I said, "Well, you're just going to have to slow down." He goes, "I'm not slowing down." I said, "Well, if you want to take her out somewhere, you're going to have to slow down." So one day I turned up on my bike and I went, "Oi, I'm just going to use a name, Flossie, get a lid on, get a jacket on, and get on the back." And she did. and
Because she
he
knew you
was
were going to go 90 miles an hour.
because he knew that I was a slow rider and I took care of my passenger. But the problem was it was getting dark, and I couldn't ride in the dark because I had cataracts.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't ride in dusk. Once it went dark, it was fine. But that bit in the middle, that weird light at dusk, dawn and dusk, it's like a weird kind of light, isn't it? I couldn't ride in that.
Yeah, it's
So
almost like somewhat reflective, somewhat like somewhat natural. Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. Um, so we pulled into a McDonald's and sat and had a coffee and slated our boyfriends. It's what you do when you got girls when you're going out with girls' night out, isn't it? You slate your other half. and
I don't know. It's been a while since I've had a girls' night out, to be honest with you.
he phoned me up. He said, "Where are you?" I said, "Up a guess." He said, "You're sitting in a Mackey's somewhere because it's not dark yet." I went, "Yeah." He went, "So you're all right?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "Okay, I'll see you when you get home."
So he doesn't ride?
My fella doesn't ride now.
No. So what made you do it at 39? I know you said you were in an accident, but you don't have to go into any details if you're not
Right.
comfortable. I'm just
So
curious.
my dad was in the forces, and I grew up going to something called the Rhine Army Summer Show.
What is that?
So it's in Germany, and it was North Rhine Westphalia. So it's where most of the British barracks are in Germany. And in the middle of all that, they'd have this huge show. Absolutely, it's impossible to imagine. And they'd have tents up, marquees up, fairground rides up, arenas for show jumping, arenas for horses, arenas for
Wow.
band displays, arenas for motorcycle displays. Now, you may have or may not have heard of the White Helmets display team.
No, I don't.
Excuse me, sorry.
You're okay.
So that was the Army Signal Regiment display team. So you'd have like 15 riders and they'd do pyramids. So you'd have 10 riders at the bottom, then 8, then 6, then 4, then 2,
Mm-hmm.
all riding on the shoulders. They'd be going through fire hoops. They'd be doing the crisscrosses at speed,
All the
crisscrosses,
tricks.
all the
Yeah.
tricks on the motorbike. And it was the slow control that mesmerized me. Now, these machines were super fast. I mean, I was only a kid, but to watch these zooming around an arena, crisscrossing with each other, left, right, and center, and fantastic. And then to see them do the slow speed control and keep these machines upright, it just mesmerized me.
Yeah, that's definitely a feat in itself.
Because you can make a
Let
horse
alone all
ride
the other
slow.
stuff they're doing, right?
Yeah, you can make a horse go slow. You can make a horse go fast. But these were machines, so
Yeah.
I was stunned, and that was the bit that got me that I wanted to ride a motorbike because I wanted to be like a white helmet, and that was always my dream. But my mum was one of those. Well, not while you live under my roof. You're not riding one of those. Oh, fine. So I had my children, and when the youngest got to 11 and could feed himself, I said, right, I'm going to learn to ride a bike.
That's awesome. Good for
So,
you.
yay.
That's amazing. I love that story. So that display, like, is that just something that the British forces did in that base, or is that something that the British forces do all the time?
No, they only did it in Germany,
Okay.
and it was to bring together the communities. So there's always banter between the Royal Scots, the SAS, the Marines, the Physical Training Corps, the Signals,
All the yeah.
all the different regiments and um, corps and all that. But the wives and the families were still wives and families. they didn't have that
Yeah.
banter. They just wanted to be wives and families. So to keep the British um, atmosphere of a community together, they would do these massive shows. I mean, Brian, do you know about Brian Ferry? Do you know? Oh, Brian Ferry. Brian Ferry. I'm trying to think of it. He sang "Jealous Guy."
No, sorry.
Um, I can't think of the name of the group he was with. They'd have pop stars of the time. I'm going Brian.
Brian Ferry Disco says.
Yeah, what what group was he with? Disco.
By the way, thank you, Sam K and Disco, for the super chats. I appreciate your generosity. Brian Ferry is a god, Lorena says.
Well, you know the way in the war they'd have your pop stars and your movie stars to go out and do morale.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that's the similar kind of thing. They'd have the British pop stars and the German pop stars come to do small gigs
At
for
this
us
festival, or in
at this,
addition, like
at this
as
festival. So you'd have a marquee that was Roxy Music. That's it. Yeah. Thank you,
good
Lorena.
job. There we go, Lorena. Way to come through for us.
So it wasn't a huge, massive marquee. It was a very intimate, small marquee where you were standing and you could physically put your hand out and touch him. And he would
Wow.
shake everybody's hands. And he shook my hand.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's my minor claim to fame.
That's pretty cool, though. See, that's like a very vivid memory that you have of doing that when you were a kid growing up in Germany.
Yeah.
What was it like? So you were on a British base, right, in Germany. Is that right?
I was, yeah.
What was that like?
Depending on your point of view, right.
Well, your
As
point of view, because
my
I'm
point
asking you.
my point of view as an adult now or my point of view as a child then.
Both, whichever you want to share.
Right. As a child then, it was the biggest pain in the arse I've ever come across.
Really? Why?
Because we had 50-foot perimeter fences, attack
Oh,
dogs and armed guards.
yeah. So you
So
weren't allowed to leave the base, really?
on some of the bases we weren't allowed to leave. On some of the bases we lived within, they were specially built areas for the NATO armies. So in one place we were living in flats, and the first floor, the first four sets of flats were British. The next set of four were Canadians. The next set of four were Americans. The next set of four were French. So we all lived in these blocks of flats, and then
So
there was a naffy in the middle of it.
there was a what?
A naffy,
A NAFI?
yeah.
NAFFI?
No,
NAFFY?
NAFFI.
What is that?
Naval Army Air Force Families Institute.
So is that just like a big warehouse or like a big community building for the flats?
A shop.
Oh, so like
A
okay,
shop, canteen where you bought your cigarettes. It's like a big supermarket
a big supermarket. Yeah, okay,
with
that makes sense.
a cafe sort of thing, so you could meet up and. But everybody was in and out everybody's house anyway, so
I would think that would forge somewhat of a sense of community because you're all in that, condensed area and you're all kind of coming from the same perspectives as far as military family, right?
yeah.
So
But
how
as a
is it?
grown up, my perspective changed
Hmm.
because I've had experiences that people my age haven't had.
Like what?
Like at the age of 8, I had a beer that was green.
See, my grandfather used to drink green beer, but that was only on St. Patrick's Day because he was Irish, and
Yeah,
so they would put food
that's
coloring in it.
totally
What kind of
different.
green beer did you have?
I had Pilsner, German beer,
Okay.
with a green herbal syrup in it,
Okay.
which
What
made
was it
it
like?
more palatable for a child.
I would think. So
Yeah,
the syrup was sweet, obviously, so it made it easier.
yeah,
But you were, how old were you, you said?
8,
8. Do you
and that
remember
was
having it?
yes, and that was at a public swimming baths.
So did you enjoy it?
Yeah,
Did you get drunk?
no,
Because you were so young?
because I was only allowed the one.
Oh, okay. So as a side note, Lorena says you can reach out and touch Brian faints. So I'd share
Yeah,
that with you.
sorry.
Falco says if I remember correctly, the white helmets were based at Catterick and used to practice on the RAF station when I was there. That's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, my son was up at Catterick. You went Catterick. That's got 2 T's in it,
Yeah.
and it's Catterick.
Catterick?
Catterick.
Catterick. Is that
Yeah,
not what I said?
no.
What did I? Okay.
But then that's my accent and me bringing it into it.
See, also, like my natural accent, I say T's as D's.
Oh, and you pull us up for the bottle of water. Bottle of water. See, I put my T's in my water.
Water. We say water.
Water. I say water. Because
Someone
my
mentioned, go ahead.
my actual name, my unmarried name, has a T in the middle of it. My surname. So when people used to say my name without it, I used to blow my stack because my name has a T in it. So say it.
A lot of people don't say T's here, or they say F for the TH sound. I'm not going to lie, that gets on my nerves.
It gets on mine as well because people say it's the way they were brought up, and I've said this to a particular person when she gets to watch this. It's laziness because
Yeah,
my
I
own
think you
children
mentioned that.
do it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I just think it kind of sounds unintelligent. Like it kind of, you could be saying the most profound thing, but I'm going to tune out as
Right.
soon as I hear
So
that.
when my sons used to say thumb, that thing next to your fingers. Right. What's that?
Thumb.
It's a thumb with an F. And then
Mm.
I'd point my other finger out, my index finger, and I go, so is that a finger? Because if that's a thumb, that's a finger.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It really bothers me. It really gets under my skin. And I've spoken to another American that speaks to a lot of British people, and they've said the same thing. They're like, I don't understand it either. It also gets under that person's skin. I was just like, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
Un-
is.
Unfortunately for you, you've invited the one person who doesn't consider herself anything.
I was going to ask you. So, how long did you spend in Germany? When did you come to
My 14, so 10 years in Germany, with the odd year or so in the UK. Because I was 15 when my dad left the army. So my
Okay,
formative years were in Germany
we're in Germany.
or here and moving quickly.
Hmm. So when you came back, how much of a culture shock was that for you? Because when
It was,
let me just add the context to it. So when you came back, you
yeah,
were in like a normal civilian society, right?
yeah.
So how like what was that culture shock like?
It wasn't because every school summer holidays were 6 weeks long, right?
So
We would
yeah.
come back here and we would stay with Nanny and Grandad.
Oh, okay. So while you were growing up, you're saying.
Yeah. So, and my mum and dad now live next door but one to my granddad's house.
Wow.
So it wasn't a huge culture. The going to school in a city, that was a culture shock. Going to school in a Liverpool city, going to a teenage school in a Liverpool
I
city,
bet, yeah, I
that
bet
was a
that was
culture shock.
probably the wrong age to make such a big transition, probably, huh?
Uh,
What, so, like, did you have any bullying, or was it just like a
yes.
you were just didn't know what you were
Oh,
doing?
oh no, I had bullying to the nth degree.
Mm, I'm sure they probably saw you a little bit as a foreigner, I would think, right? Because you didn't grow up in the area and you weren't clued in on the customs and all that really like you had some exposure, but it's really like I'm learning it's really different when you're actually living it than when you're just there visiting and experiencing it from that point of view.
So, who was it that mentioned it before about Newcastle and Sunderland? Was it Manny? No, it was Glyn, wasn't it?
I think it was Glenn, but I will look. I wish you could do
No.
a search on this.
So the first goes to school, and the first thing people say to me was, "What team?"
And you hate football.
Not "What's your name?" Where you from? But what team? That was the first words that were said to me. What team? So
So
me
what was
being
your
the obstropolous child that I am, went Bayern Munich, who were top of the league at the time.
and how'd that go over?
It went well.
Yeah.
Went well for me.
I I thought you didn't like football.
I don't, but
You
I've
just
never
picked it.
have. I knew Bayern Munich was the best football team in Germany, so that's the one I picked.
Fair enough. So, what did you leave school at 16? Is that because I
I
know that
did.
it's changed recently. Now
No,
they
I
stay
left.
till 18.
They can stay. Yeah, I left at 16. We had
So
a thing called a youth training scheme, YTS. So when I was at school, when you left school, you couldn't sign on. You couldn't get any dole.
okay.
So you had to do a youth training scheme,
So it's like an apprenticeship.
kind of, but more like zero contract hours. You got minimal pay. So I went and done a college course uh, for I think it was about 6 months. It wasn't long because it wasn't the college course that I wanted, so I left with a letter saying that they couldn't provide me with the courses that I requested. And because I had that letter, they gave me my unemployment benefit.
Hmm. Disco says a cheap version was 25 pounds a week under YTS. Is that right?
Yeah,
Jesus. Well, that's crap.
yeah. But then £25 a week 40 years ago,
Yeah, but still.
that's still good money for 40 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. 40 years ago. I mean, I don't know. I was a child, like a very young child.
No, 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 no.
Sam K has a question for you.
Okay.
What type of ambulance did the young queen drive when she was in the army as a nurse slash driver slash mechanic? I remember seeing an image of it in green.
I would presume it was a Land Rover.
It must have been, right? Like a dark green, right?
Yeah, khaki green.
Isn't Land Rover like a posh version of a Jeep?
No. Um, a Land Rover is the original rugged all-terrain vehicle.
Is it?
Yes.
Hmm.
None of your American Jeepy things. It
That's
just,
not what we're told. Shocking. It's shocking that Americans were told something different. So you went to Liverpool to live because that's where your grandparents were,
yes.
and that's where
That,
you've stayed now your entire adult life. Is that right?
yes. Yes. Sadly, yes.
Sadly, sorry, sadly. Bye, Piper. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Take care, Piper. Thank you.
Why do you say sadly?
Because I could have been anywhere else.
Well, you still can if you want.
No, no, I can't.
Why you don't think you
No,
could live anywhere else at this point?
no, I'm too set in my ways now.
You never know.
I do know. I am so set in my ways now.
So, what made you decide to do a YouTube channel, TJ?
You know that year that didn't nothing happened. You know that
Mm-hmm.
one. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about that before, weren't we? Yeah, I was entertaining my friends and family on Facebook with my puppets. So they would message me and say, "Can you sing Merle Haggard?" Or "Can you do Dolly Parton?" Or "Can you do Purple Prince?" What's his name? Prince, Purple Rain.
Prince, Purple Rain.
So I had these different puppets and I would have them singing along to said song. And somebody said, "Oh, you put them on TikTok." So I did put them on TikTok. TikTok muted them all. So all you would see was this puppet flying around with no music. So it
Oh,
didn't make any sense
because of the royalties, probably,
because
right?
of the
Because it was.
royalties. And then somebody said, "Go on to YouTube and do it." So I put them on YouTube.
I'm surprised YouTube didn't give you a hard time as well, because the YouTube gives me a hard time whenever I put music on any of my shit.
Well, because of I think it's because of the age of some of the songs I was, like
Hmm.
they're really old. Most of them were only getting banned in Russia, so I wasn't bothered.
Fair enough. There's lots of shit banned in Russia, so no
Oh,
worries.
yeah. I think it was Russia and Belgium that got banned most. I don't know why Belgium, but I can understand Russia, but I can't understand Belgium.
That is weird. I love your puppets. I think they're hilarious. I love watching them. It's one of my favorite things on your channel. You haven't done it in a while though, right?
All of them or just Becky?
I liked all of them. Well, all the ones I saw, I've probably seen like a dozen or so.
Yeah, that's probably all of them.
Yeah, we
I
need to
think
do
I've got
some
about
more.
50.
I enjoy it a lot. So you make the do you make the puppets as well?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous of stuff like that. The most creative thing that I can do is like my posts on my community channel and my thumbnails, which aren't even that good.
Well, I'm very crafty. I mean, I've got a crafting playlist, and I've done handmade journals for people. I've done I've made dolls, and I've made costumes to go on the dolls.
I know you've made costumes for yourself as well, like this,
I've
as
made
Disco
costumes.
reminded us. Is that the I was gonna say Willy Wonka, which was really awful, but the Harry Potter one that you did.
Yeah.
That was recent. I remember I was following that journey and I was like, how is she doing this? What made you decide to do that?
Did you see that one?
This one, the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. By the way, you
And
remind me of my mom with the Nutcracker obsession because she's obsessed with Nutcrackers. She collects them as well.
that one and that one. It's really hard doing things when you're not looking at what you're doing. You're just looking at a camera. That was the one I made for the Hogwarts Legacy.
Right. Have you always been crafty?
Yeah. Hobbies just reminded me there. I make eggs. I used to do eggs.
Eggs?
I'd cut a hole in the front of a goose egg and put little dioramas inside them.
Oh, okay. Like it would be like a jagged hole, right?
No.
Okay. And I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Right,
You
give
have a
me a minute.
sample?
I do. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Sam K, you're
Normal
absolutely right. YouTube is definitely obsessed with copywriting as much as they can.
normal service will be resumed as soon as possible.
Hold, please. Let's check in with the chat while we're waiting for TJ to find a sample for me so I know what the hell she's talking about. My neighbor, Disco saying Falco says the Willys Jeep was top notch. I don't know what the Willys Jeep is. And Disco said that my neighbor has a couple of Willys Jeeps. Yeah, she's extremely crafty. She does the puppets. She does she does her YouTube channel. She does all of the sewing. She makes costumes. She does lots of stuff. I'm really kind of jealous of it. I try to do stuff, but it never comes out right. I'm good at like repurposing. So if there's like an old dresser or something and I want to make like a bookshelf out of it or something like that, I'm pretty good at that stuff. But other than that, I suck. Sam, of course. A Matador truck. I don't know what these things are. I need to learn more about cars and trucks. Oh, that's okay. Thank you for joining us, Diana. I hope you stay well. Have a good night. Yeah. Autocorrect us as you remind us every single stream, Sam. Oh. Interesting. I don't think I've seen this video.
Those 3 eggs are in Australia now.
So you made them and sent them over to your friend?
No, somebody bought them.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Big money, right?
Yeah.
That one's
Now,
cool.
that is my friend who was 76 years old. That car was a 76-year-old car.
Wow.
And he was in the RAF.
That's cool. That's really, really cool. I love it. You know the detail with the birds in the sky and everything.
Now, that one was one of the last ones I made. My cataract surgeon said to me when, what do you do before they do your surgery? You have a chat because they have to prioritize people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went in for my consultation and he was like, yeah, this. He said, what do you do? I said, well, I drive. And he said, yeah. I said, I ride a motorbike. He's like, okay. I said, I'm just trying to think of everything I use my eyes for. And he laughed. and I said,
Just about everything that I do.
yeah, I work with a computer, so I need to be able to look at a computer. That's my job. That's what brings money to the house is a computer, office work. He said, "Do you have any hobbies?" I said, "Yeah, I make little eggs." And he went, "What?" I said, "I make little eggs, put little scenes inside eggs. People give me photographs and things like that, or tell me what they want, and I'll do my best to make what's there in front of me for a gift or something for somebody." So after he'd done my surgery, completely forgot about this conversation. And after he'd done my surgery, because now he wasn't my surgeon,
Mm,
right?
right.
He contacted me and sent through some photographs of his wife's 2 dogs and a horse
Aw.
and a little cat. You can't really see the cat there, but there's a little cat on a bale of hay.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's the gray one here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he said, "Do what you can with that." So I did that, and I made the box for it and sent it off, and he paid me rather a lot of money for that.
Wow. Do you enjoy it?
I did do, but I can't see clear enough to do it now.
Oh, that stinks. They're
That
really
was a
good.
that was a girl's graduation to be a social worker.
Oh, it's really good. Your attention to detail is impeccable.
Elephants by a stream.
Mm.
Valentine's Day one.
Ugh,
Nah.
I hate Valentine's Day. That's beautiful.
And that is my friend asked me to make that, and I went, "Why?" He said, "Because when I go, I'm gonna drive off into the sunset at faster than the speed limit." And I went, "Oh, okay." And he said, "And I don't even care if there's a brick wall at the end of the road." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay then.
So that's him driving, and that little circle is our national speed limit sign.
Right. I have to learn this stuff. The sunset is beautiful. Oh, lilies. And the butterfly on the outside of that one is gorgeous. That's beautiful. I don't know that I've seen your egg ones, to be honest.
And this one's just a process of me making the pieces.
Disco says it's too bad because he would be interested. It's too bad you don't do them anymore.
Yep, no, I can't see clear enough to do them, sadly.
He also says that you're extremely talented, and Lorena says that it's really creative.
Thank you.
That's the thing is you have a lot of different. I liked your channel because it had a lot of different stuff. I don't like those channels that are only about one thing. If they're like tutorials or something, then that's fine, right? Because you're just going over that kind of stuff. But like if the lifestyle, like these types of channels, I don't like them if they're just about like just traveling or just my work or just like I like it that it's variety because life is variety. No one's interested in just one thing in their entire life. So I love your channel that you have all these different aspects of your life you're incorporating into your channel. I think that's really cool. And you're
Thank
extremely
you.
talented.
Thank you.
Extremely talented.
I'm an
So
artist. I'm a piss
so
artist.
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm an artist
You're an artist at heart, huh?
and a piss artist on a Friday.
So have you always been into the arts?
Yeah. I used to be able to do those eggs with chicken's eggs when I was a kid.
What? Chicken eggs are small.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I didn't realize goose eggs were that large. But we don't have a lot of well, I don't know that I've ever seen a goose egg like not in the wild. I've never seen it in the store and I've never seen it in the wild. But I didn't even realize they were that large. But a chicken egg, that seems, I mean, how do you do it in the chicken? Do you have like figurines or whatever in there? Like
I'd
you
make
did
the
the horses and
figurines.
stuff? Huh?
Yeah, I'd make them.
No, I know, but did you do them in the chicken eggs because they're so much smaller?
Yeah, yeah, they were only sort of things like a bookcase and a table. It wasn't a full,
Simple.
like a doll's house room.
Yeah.
So it would be like a doll's house room, but scaled down to a tiny. So I'd make a table out of matchsticks, put that in,
Oh,
and I was only a
okay.
kid.
Still, jeez. I was only a kid. You making tables and stuff out of matchsticks for a little
I
egg display.
I got my crafting badge for Girl Guides for that.
Girl Guides is like Girl Scouts, right?
Yes.
Right. There you go. Is that how you got into it or were you into it anyway?
Oh, it's in the family. My dad's an artist, so it's in the blood. And his
Have you
dad
ever done
was an
any other kind of art like drawing or painting or sculpting or any
art,
performing or anything like that?
arting. I do perform. I have performed. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I've performed.
Have you?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I did a lip sync. Lip sync battle.
Yeah?
I did a lip sync battle.
Did you? What
Yes.
song?
To Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
And how'd it go?
It went really well because I actually did what she did.
Really?
So she had a long black coat on and a top hat,
Yeah.
and then ended up with a white shirt on, and then she took the white shirt on and had a corset underneath.
Nice. So I bet it went over well.
I did all that.
Why are you laughing?
Because I'm looking at me now thinking, then there's no way I did that, but I did.
I love that you did that. That sounds good. You don't have any pictures or anything you could share with us, huh?
I'm not sharing that, no.
All right then. You're no fun, but fair enough. Is that the
I
only performing you've ever done?
Pardon?
Is that the only performing you've ever done?
I've been on school plays.
That's
Does that
it.
count?
That's the only other. Okay, I was just trying to get around about your creative kind of sphere. That's all.
I've been to a lot of fancy dresses and I've made my own outfits to those.
That
I'm
doesn't
just having a
surprise
look
me.
to see if I can find the
So,
um
so even though you're having trouble doing the eggs, you're able to sew and all of that still because you made the costume. Recently you've made the Harry Potter costume, so you're still able to sew and stuff. That's not affecting it. Affected, I should say.
um I do a lot of sewing by touch.
Oh, okay.
So when I go, "Ow, that pin hurt, that pin really hurt," but then at least I know where it is.
Okay. That stinks.
It does, but it's one of those things that you're either going to moan about it or get on with it.
Yeah, you just find a way around it to still do things that you love, right? It's like
Yeah.
anything else.
I'm just currently looking for somebody to learn to ride my bike so I can get on the back.
Don't look at me.
No, don't fancy the idea?
No. I'm having enough trouble trying to drive cars here. So I don't think you'll want me to learn that. Well, it might be easier. At least I'll be able to find parking and shit and get down the road with
Yeah,
another
exactly. See? See, you're looking at the positives already.
car. I'll keep it in mind. I'll keep it in mind. Manny says, I agree with the others, TJ. You are multi-talented and you are so knowledgeable. Keep up the excellent work.
Thank you, Manny.
Sam K says, perhaps try giant knitting.
What, like blankets and things?
I don't know if he's being serious or not because it's Sam and he's a little bit cheeky, right? But Do you knit or sew outside of like costume making and stuff? Oh, you sew? Don't didn't you tell me to start with a cushion cover or something
I
like that?
started with a cushion cover, yeah. Simple square, simple straight lines.
So you do stuff like that, like curtains and stuff like that too.
I did do. I don't.
You did,
It's cheaper. It's cheaper to buy it now.
yeah. So how did you get into doing the like exploring Liverpool and doing that historical stuff? What made you go? What made you decide to do that?
Um,
Okay, Sam says giant knitting is knit with arms rather than needles.
no, I'm not doing giant knitting, Sam. And Mr. Prendy doesn't ride disco. Um, I think part of it has sat in me head because when we'd come home for our 6 week school holidays, um, we'd get taken to the museums, the art galleries, and all that. And we've got the only um, slave museum in the world. And when you've been in there and you think no one else has done this in the world. No one has commemorated the fact that this happened to human beings, and we've got to stop it. So that's Liverpool's way of saying this is what happened. It was wrong. It's been documented for people to come and have a look so that you don't do it again. That made an impact. So I then went on to what else has Liverpool done? And when you go looking to see what Liverpool has done, you're like, really? Oh
Yeah, I
my God.
mean, I'm sure it's like that's a a hotbed of things to discover and explore all around every corner. Probably it's been.
Well,
I mean, it's been a cornerstone of the British Empire forever.
it's like who invented the washing machine?
Is
Now,
someone in Liverpool?
if you want to go far back, the person who made sure and realized that cholera and typhoid was being spread by dirty clothes and dirty water was a woman in Liverpool.
That's so cool.
So if you then go fast forward, so she was cleaning the clothes because she was the only woman on the street who had a hot boiler. So she then opened up bathhouses, wash houses. So you would throw your clothes in these big vats of hot water, wash them. They would be left to dry. When the
Mhm.
water cooled down, you'd throw the kids in. So the kids were getting cleaned.
Wow.
And then
And
they realized that there was only one toilet to 10 houses. One
but
toilet for 10 houses. Each of
I
those houses has got 10 people in it.
yeah, I was gonna say like I can't imagine. I'm struggling with one toilet with three people in this house.
So the water pipe would be 3 yards away from the toilet. So the fresh water that they were pumping, because they didn't have any water in their own houses,
Right.
would be that close to the sewage in the toilet, and that's the water was getting mixed, and this was happening to people. So she made it so that you would get clean clothes, clean water. She didn't put a toilet in everybody's house, but she got more toilets, like 2 toilets at the end of the street. So more toilets. And
Right.
then it was a toilet at the end of your yard. So all houses, all the terraced houses in the country started off with a little brick cubicle. Have you heard as big as a brick shithouse?
Yeah.
Well,
Is that
that's
what
what
it
it
is?
was. In the
Wow.
corner of your yard of a terraced house was a brick built toilet
Wow.
because they didn't have it in the house. If you wanted a bath, you had to have a tin bath in front of the fire.
Yeah, I mean, we had similar. Ours were called outhouses. So they were basically wooden sheds that were just like single columns
Yeah,
with a big hole. As they started with just at the end of the property, right, as far back as you can get,
yeah,
and that were just basically holes in the ground at first, and then they built, eventually they built like makeshift toilets over it and all that.
yeah. We all started somewhere.
Yeah,
So this
absolutely.
this woman, Kitty Wilkinson, was an Irish immigrant who lost her father on the way over. So she was only a young kid. So she went to the workhouses and she got herself up and she worked for in service. So she was a maid for someone. And then she saved her money up and she got these. So out of her realizing that we've got indoor swimming pools
Wow, that makes sense.
because they were called bathhouses. You go into the baths in Liverpool. You don't go. I'm not going to the swimming pool. I'm going to the baths because it's a swimming bath. Because it's the get in and have a wash bath was the forerunner of a swimming baths.
That's so funny when you think like you don't think about it unless you like stop and think about it, right? Like we take so much of this modern convenience and modern marvels we have for granted. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't that long ago actually that these were like brand new inventions.
yeah. I mean, she did not invent the wash machine, but she invented the notion of cleaning your clothes inside your house. Now, why do you keep your clothes clean? Because you don't want to get disease. You don't want
Right.
to be dirty. You know. So that came from her.
That's amazing. What an amazing story. I love that story. It's a great. We're coming to the end of the stream, so that was actually a great story to end with. Thank you for sharing it. I love it. Um, Disco says that's why we still have an outside toilet. I'm not. Are you saying you have an outside toilet,
He
Disco?
still
Or
has an outside toilet at his house.
interesting. I remember my mom was telling me that one time when she was growing up, she didn't have any indoor plumbing in her apartment, and she had to take like she had lived down the shore, so they had like showers outside that you were supposed to use to just rinse off sand and stuff, but she used it as her shower because that was the only she had a toilet in the house, but she didn't have any shower in the house, so she had to go outside to take a shower, which I thought was really strange, especially nowadays. So Manny's asking when your next quiz is. For those of you who don't know, every once in a while, isn't it once a month, I think?
It's usually once a month. It's usually the last Saturday of the month.
TJ
But
does quizzes that go on for hours, but they're fun as hell. Um,
I have
and
already, but you want to stop, so I've got 20 questions sitting there waiting.
okay, we'll save it. Can you save it?
Yeah.
Because I have an idea.
You going to invite me on again, are you?
Possibly.
Oh, good
Maybe.
God, she's a glutton for punishment, this one.
I have an idea, and I had it swirling in the back of my head for a couple weeks anyway. And since you mentioned it, we'll have a chat offline about that.
Okay. She's
Um,
planning something. She's planning. Brace yourselves. See, last weekend I was busy. The last Saturday of February, I was busy.
So will there be one this week?
No, because it's now March.
Yeah, but you didn't do it last week, so
No. I gave my excuses and it'll be the last Saturday in March. But
all
I do
right.
occasionally just go live just for the fun of it. So
You did do that recently.
Yes.
So I'm gonna, with your permission, I'm gonna put the link to your channel in the chat for everybody in case they aren't familiar with your channel. If that's okay.
That's fine. And if they are familiar, they'll be like that. Oh, good God, no, no, please.
Oh, so Disco says it's dangerous that Mandy has ideas and it probably involves both of us, TJ.
Oh, no, it's shocking.
So you're gonna have so everybody subscribe to TJ's channel if you can. Check out her work. She does awesome stuff. It's a lot of fun. And if you have any questions for TJ, I'm sure you can reach out to her directly or join her chat and just ask her when she has her fancy a cuppa chats that she just randomly throws out there that last for like 10 hours.
4, not 10, 4.
I'm always like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna join this, and then I'm there for like 5 minutes and something happens and I have to stop, and I'm like, I'll go back. I'm like, oh, they're still there, but I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It usually changes by the minutes, doesn't it, Disco?
That's true. Thanks for joining me today, TJ.
Pleasure.
That was fun.
It was fun for me. I don't know if it was fun for you.
It was fun for me. It was fun for me. I did enjoy it, and I might have to we might have to do this again.
My pleasure.
It would be my pleasure as well. Thanks, you guys, for coming to the stream today. Everyone go check out TJ's channel. Like I said, make sure you subscribe if you can. Hit the notification so you know when she's going live. And I'm sure she'll put out a post when her next quiz is, which is fun. You all should check it out if you get a chance. I'm definitely going to put it in my calendar to try to do it next Saturday, the last Saturday of this month as well. Try not to plan anything else so I could be around. Because I had my favorite though was your anniversary, the one you did for not the anniversary, the celebration for when you hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that one it just seemed, I don't know. Everyone just, I guess because it was a celebration, it just seemed it had just a really cool underlying vibe. Most of yours do. Most of yours do, but that one just seemed, everybody just seemed to be in a really amazing mood that day.
Especially Wolvo.
Okay. Yeah, he was in a mood. I don't know if that didn't seem normal, but he was in a mood.
He was having a lovely time.
He was.
Wolvo is very, very. You either like him or you don't. And I think he's hilarious.
I think he's hilarious as well. So he reminds me of, I was telling my partner, he reminds me of some of my family members, like my dad's side of the family and stuff.
Well, he's from your side of the water.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I like him.
You wouldn't
fellow
think
American.
We're twins. We share the same brain cells.
See, I like you, so obviously then I'm gonna like him, right?
We get on well.
So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get going myself. But thank you again for joining us, TJ, and thank everybody in the chat. I'm sorry we didn't get to read a bunch of your chats, but special shout out to our moderators, of course. Also, special shout out to Disco and Sam K because they did send in some super chats. I didn't really get to call them out when they came out, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave with this, if you don't mind, TJ. It's one of your little puppet things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do this as we sign out, guys. Have a great night. Everyone stay safe. Have a good week. TJ, all the best. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Ta-da. Ta-da, everybody. Thank you.
All right, bye, you guys.